What do you want? You want the moon?
I think I finally know what I want to do with my life. I'm going to join the entertainment industry.
Abby, everybody knows you can't make any money with an arts degree.
But won't it make me happy?
Money can make you happy.
That's right, boys and girls. At Skitbags Radio, money can buy you happiness that creativity can't. We always talk to the best in Hollywood and entertainment who are going to show you how to buy the happiness you deserve. Always on Dash Talk X. And you better buckle up, saddle in, take your phone off the hook because we got a brand new ball game. Let's go.
All aboard!
Welcome to Father Habib's Alcohol Anonymous. I'd like to welcome you all here to a wonderful place where we are going to discuss all of your problems that your parents have caused you. We have women like Casey Cook 'em Up. We have Gabby the Gangsta. We have T McDick Daddy. We also have Devin the Dude, Willie the Wanker, and Alyssa the Anger. Oh, it's going to be a beautiful day. I'd like to hear from you all. But first. Hey, you forgot to say me, man. Michael, I didn't forget you. You just got here because you're late because you're black. You know what your real problem is? You live like a skitbag because the Skitbags Radio, baby. We got Will Toussaint and Alyssa Brayboy. Girl got a hard name.
Thank you, Carl.
Carl, coming in.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's
Love it. So before we get started real quick, we got to give a shout out to our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by Onnit, Onnit.com. You guys know about Alpha Brain? Have you ever heard of that? Or any what a nootropic is?
I don't know. Sounds like some Alex Jones kind of alpha male shit.
Nah, you know that movie Limitless, right? Bradley Cooper?
Yes.
That shit, bro. Nah, it's two placebo-controlled double-blind studies out of Massachusetts confirm that it enhances cognitive support. So memory, focus, reaction time, things like that. And it's all natural. So go over to Onnit.com. They got a bunch of other stuff for you and enter promo code SKIPBAGS for your discount, bro. Also, big shout out to Dipstick Vapes and the Dipper. Go get you a portable dab machine. Everyone the dab rigs, it's all glass and crazy as fuck and everything. Yeah. This is like a vape pen, but for dabbing.
Okay.
So that's exactly what it is.
That's intense.
It's clean. It's very unique. It's discreet and casual. It's perfect for on the go. So you want to get your concentrate on, go to dipstickvapes.com.
Yeah,
nice.
Get violently high in public, wherever you want.
Can you buy that brain stuff in the store too? Do they sell that brain stuff in the store too?
Alpha Brain is at Sprouts here in California. It's at a bunch of other properties. You can go to their website and they have locate us or order it directly from them. But you should order it directly from them because you use promo code SKIPBAGS and get yourself a discount.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I like that stuff. I got a homie that got stuff like that, but he sells it in like a small white bag.
I might not
really different.
like that, but I like the discount associated with it.
Yes.
I mean, they got swag, they got gear on there. They make a bunch of stuff. Like, they make melatonin that I just started using. So this is just a straight up melatonin
So what,
spray.
you gonna turn black or something? Like, what's that?
No. I think you might be thinking you're thinking of melatonin.
Hey, man, I went to Philadelphia public schools, man. I feel you, man.
Melanin, yeah, whatever. See, I'm really fucking
Yeah, you're melanin, man. I got that melatonin in my skin.
I got that
Melatonin.
That's great. I've never heard anybody say that about melatonin. I don't know why. It's such an obvious stuff that's been there the whole time. If it was a black snake, it would have fucking bit me. And then it'd be like, damn, I bit your ass. Motherfucking black snakes.
Well, Will, Alyssa, welcome to the show. Thank you guys for being here. As you can see, the tone is exactly what you just witnessed.
It's fantastic.
So we're going to talk about the mix and serve coming up. But first, we always start the show with a breakdown of a movie or a TV show in honor of Jordan Peele's new movie coming out. We're going to talk about Get Out.
Get out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
I mean, what is
Carl,
it to say?
first of all, I'm sure you're going to have some kind of criticism of this movie.
Oh.
I don't know. I saw it late, like, because once again, I just because everybody liked it, I didn't see it on purpose. So I waited until after it went out of the theaters to see it. Same thing with Black Panther. Same thing with Black Panther.
Don't like the Beatles.
I'm like,
right?
y'all like this shit? Man, y'all all like this shit? Man, fuck that shit, cuz.
Carl, that's becoming a problem.
That's a real feeling nigga shit right there.
I'm just, but then after it's done, they're like, oh, y'all ain't talk about it no more. Like, let me check this bullshit out. God damn, this shit was coming. I was crying and shit. You know, so it was a pretty good film.
Word.
I have much to say about it.
I thought it was really good. I thought it was, I think that's kind of something we can expect with us as far as what's going on with this is, like, we all expect this one version to come out, but there were, like, maybe 2 different versions at least of Get Out because it had, like, this alternate ending. So, which I just thought was so cool, man. It's just, like, the kind of work and dedication they put into, like, thorough storyline telling.
What's the alternate ending?
I didn't know there was
the alternate ending is real fucked up. It's basically what we all thought was gonna happen.
It all goes wrong.
The shitty outcome where it all goes wrong.
He becomes
Guy right there.
the guy's photography assistant or whatever.
You said what now?
He becomes the blind guy's photography assistant.
No, he I can't remember the exact ending because it's blurring together with the actual ending, but I think basically he ends up in prison. That's what happens. He escapes and he kills all those people, but of course it's a black guy that just killed a bunch of random white people in the woods. His ass is going to jail.
Yeah.
He'd be lucky if he made it to the jail in the first place, and he got lucky enough to make it there. So that was the alternate ending, which I just thought was like, damn, Jordan Peele was like, this. I'm gonna write this shit for real.
Yeah.
Is that like on the DVD? Where do you watch that?
I don't know if that was on the DVD.
Did they shoot it?
Yeah, they shot it. There's a scene that I have watched of him in jail, and it's him like in this orange jumpsuit behind a glass window, talking to his homeboy who was basically like, "Nigga, I told you so."
Yeah. Somebody told me it was an alternate
No,
ending.
I can't remember the guy that came to sing it.
He's really
Well, you
seen
looked at me. No, I've seen Get Out. Thank you.
But you haven't seen this alternate scene?
I have not seen the alternate scene.
No
but
one's
I'm
seen this
really
alternate
excited
scene?
about what
No,
Monkey
I was
Paw
told
Production-
about it. You know, Neil, he's a fucking psycho about movies, so he told me about it. And
Yeah.
like, here's alternate scene, dude. I'm like, all right, man.
Did you say that like while you were trying to smoke?
Carl's just putting up with it.
That's funny. No,
Yes.
yeah, that scene is wild, but I mean, Get Out was just one of the funniest things to me about Get Out was one of the funny scenes to me that was about that music video for This Is America. Is just how much people read into things. It's like recently I heard this quote that was like, "There's no meaning in things. Like things just happen and humans find meaning for it." And I think that that's like kind of the case, and that's a very atheist point of view, basically, or like a no fate kind of point of view. But it was interesting to me to hear, to be like, wow, like, have I really just been looking at all these things and just putting, like everybody did that with the Get Out movie? They were like, oh, like this means this, and Jordan Peele was like,
Nope.
I don't know. I have a perspective. Like when you talk about life, like living life, there's no little God meaning. Like God's got some whole shit set up. He's just trying to make a little funny fucking joke like he does to Job with the devil. It's not like that. But when it comes to art and creativity, even something that's about nothing is always about something. I don't care what art you make, singing, walking, talking. It's about something, even if that something is nothing.
I guess my question is it about something without humans? Like without human interaction, would art still be art?
No, I think it's subjective. I think all art is subjective. Whatever people think is good, somebody somewhere is in the corner just, this is the best shit I ever fucking seen. You know what I mean? Like, all art is subjective like that. You know?
Jordan sat in on a class at UCLA that was teaching about Get Out. He went and like didn't even like dress up. He just like put a hoodie on, just kind of like walked in and like just sat in the back. And then people like realized like, what the fuck, Jordan Peele's out here. So like he was like, I just wanted to see what you guys were talking about in my movie. Like I just
wanted to know.
Yeah,
I think I don't know. I think that's my whole thing about art is just that like people like you could take something as simple as like a painted white wall, and humans will put some kind of meaning to that, some kind of thing to it. And I think that's. It's like you just can't spell like you can't spell heart without art. Like you need the kind of human interaction for it to become like what it is. You know, I'm just like it's interesting to think like we see Get Out the movie. Sorry, I'm thinking about Get Out the movie now. That sketch we did with Skitbags.
Oh, right. Classic.
I don't know if they know about this. We did this sketch with Skitbags. If you haven't seen it, it's hilarious.
Go to the Facebook page, check it out. Will stars in it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Carl, this is co-star. It's basically Will and Carl.
Yeah, it is. The whole scene. But yeah, just I think that like it would be interesting to see how like how other countries in the own world like deal with Get Out, because it's very different unless you're like from the United States of America and you deeply understand all the subtle things that happen every day.
Yeah.
It's a lot about Black horror too, and I will be honest, I didn't know anything about that in context until I met the culture executive of Monkey Paw Productions. She went deeper into what Monkey Paw is trying to do and how they're trying to showcase more Black horror, and so it was fascinating to me. And then from there, I went to go watch Eve's Bayou, and it's like, oh my goodness, there are different problems, different horrors that are out in the world for different cultures, and it's something that I knew but never articulated.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's probably why that movie was such a huge success, is because it really captured Black horror in a way that none of us had ever really openly discussed.
Well, what I think is so interesting about what Jordan Peele did was he's come out and he's openly said it. It is the movie The Stepford Wives, which is a movie that has been remade twice.
Yep.
And he was like, it's the same exact movie, just with that one twist. And just because he added that one twist, it added so many deeper meanings that, I mean, it went on to win the Oscar that year. It was everything. That
Very
one
true.
subtle change.
Very true. I did not actually know it was based on Stepford Wives, but it makes so much
I
sense.
didn't either.
now that you say
Yeah,
that.
It makes sense.
I just put that together in my head and was like, oh,
yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Good, that's
Yeah, he
smart.
couldn't say that before.
After he
It's like
won.
let him
He-
hold on to
he-
this
he-
I'd be
little
like, by
piece
the
of
way, you
information.
guys, this was all bullshit.
I just made a
Gotcha.
remake and
Yeah. I gotta give him credit. He's like the new Alfred Hitchcock, Stephen King kind of thing going on.
Oh,
you know? He's
yeah.
like the new
I can't
horror
wait for his
guy,
new,
like the new Us one or whatever it's called. With
Twilight
the
Zone series.
Dude,
Yeah.
the Twilight Zone
I
was
can't
fucking
wait.
amazing.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Narrated by him. That's
Doesn't know it
brilliant.
yet.
Oh, he is. He's
He's
doing that.
He's
too.
the host, and he's a writer on it
That's
too,
how I
right?
know reboots
He's the
work
creator.
in the right
Creator.
circumstances. You know, some reboots work.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
I think this one will be
coming
good.
back under this way would be dope.
It's gonna work.
I mean, if Black Mirror could work.
Oh,
I mean,
Black
it's like
Mirror. I was
essentially the
calling
same
that
thing.
Twilight Zone when I
Yes.
first heard. I was like, that's like Twilight Zone. I like that.
Yep. Internet Twilight Zone.
Yes.
Yeah, Internet
So-
Twilight Zone.
Do you guys know the premise behind his new movie? I don't.
I've just chosen not to know about it. Because
Yeah,
like
I don't
the
want to look too
surprise.
far into it.
I mean,
I
I
want
like
to
the
be.
surprise.
I
I
can
wanna-
tell
in the
from the
moment,
commercials. I
like,
can do a
like, you know.
commercial synopsis. Basically, they go on a vacation with not, like, you know how it is. You go to some creepy house that you know, as niggas, you should have left 5 minutes after you got there. But they stay. Oh, it's nice up in this bitch. All the cobwebs and dead white people. Anyway, let's stick around. The Get Out boys, get out. All right, we sticking. All right, anyway, so then while they kicking it, some motherfuckers show up one night and then they far away and they tend to be this like inverted Bizarro Award version of them. They kind of fucks with them, but I don't know. It's like, they don't see it from the commercials. It don't seem like they hurt them. It seems like they're just fucking with them like trolls and shit. I don't know. It's weird.
There's some
But
blood
it's like
in the
a re-
trailer.
I guess
It's a
what I got
reflection.
from that trailer was that
Yeah.
like those other versions of them are causing other mischief. And they're like, is that me?
Doing that.
Which is why they're like us.
Oh.
I think.
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, shit, I'm just watching
Gabby
commercials.
knows.
Go ahead.
I
How
don't know.
little do you guys want to know about it? Because there, in the newest trailer that just came out, there's a new hint, and I don't know if you like. I
No,
don't
you
know
can
if
drop
you
it.
guys-
I'm ready.
I
I'm
watched that
ready.
trailer. It didn't bother me that much.
Okay, well, Lupita basically says that when she was a child,
Did my damn lip
she
off.
met another child that looked just like her, but was a little off. So I think that they're setting it up to where whatever character that stalked her from her childhood has like come back from whatever dimension it was with her like whole family to like take over.
Yeah, and the kids are like climbing on trees and stuff.
Yeah.
Like kids do.
Well, who's
Like
going
climbing
with me?
trees.
Because I'm not seeing that thing by myself.
Yeah, that's the plan. Some brother gonna be like, yeah, baby, I'll take you to see that Alyssa girl. You know what I'm saying? How about you sip on this drink right quick before we go?
Oh no.
Get it, you know. Oh, it's scary. Yeah, it's scary, ain't it?
Word.
Carl, I am never seeing a movie with you.
I'm giving you 2 drinks. I'm giving you
I'm
2
bringing
drinks.
my own drink.
I always carry my
passcode
own
on the
drink, my
top.
beautiful flask right here.
Blue icy.
Well, in honor of you guys are here, I want to talk a little bit about the mix and motherfucking serve.
Yeah.
Right?
Damn.
So why don't you let everyone know out there, give them a rundown of what it is.
I will give you a basic rundown on what it is. So The Mix and Serve is a satirical news show whose setting is inside of a bar. So the bartenders are anchors, the servers, the traffic correspondent. She's always late, not just because she's black, but because of LA traffic.
Traffic, y'all.
And then there's the sports guy who's the bar back. He's like the most pumped about the whole thing. And then there's the barfly who's the weather person because she was just outside. And our hostess is our international news correspondent who Alyssa used to play.
Yes.
And the hostess covers international news because she's never at a host stand. So it's like kind of melting together like the world of like mixology and bartending with like doing the news and comedy. So it's like one part comedy, one part drinking, and one part journalism. Shaken vigorously, served all up in your face, real funky.
The news palatable.
That's right. We try to make news palatable again. So that's why we're doing like these 3 new versions. Because like originally when it started, it was like more of a podcast style.
I was gonna say, like, get into like the beginnings where this came from, the inception of the
This is more
show.
than 2 years. It's been like 2+ years in the making, and it was made like a couple of weeks before the official election. So it was like October 16th or something of 2016. And I already knew Donald Trump was going to become president. It was like weeks out. And I was like, you know what? If we're going to go through this, we gotta try to find like some way for us to deal with it, because I don't feel like there's like a political news show that speaks directly for millennials and like to us, and specifically for us. Like, and I love John Oliver, and I love Trevor Noah, and I love The Weekend Update, but none of those guys represent our demographic.
Corporate swine.
I mean, no offense, but like they are. Like,
Went there.
you know what I mean? Like I love John Oliver, but his show is owned, by Time Warner through whatever channels, and it's things like that like keep us in a different light and let us address things differently. But yeah, I created it because I knew that was gonna happen, and I was like, how do I deal with this? And I was like, because millennials, we only get our news through social media. Like I don't want to check
Twitter,
Google, or anything. I want to just go to Twitter. Like I didn't even watch the Oscars this year. I just
You just were
Twitter.
updating the
I just
Twitter
threw up
feed.
Twitter and was like hashtag Oscars, and everything I needed to know would just pop up right there.
Right.
Why would I have to watch something that I don't want to see? So I was like, how do I make this palatable again? And I was like, well, it's like social media is like word of mouth. Word of mouth is like fucking old school bartenders. And I was like, oh my God, I'm a bartender. I was like, that's what we do all the time. It used to be like you couldn't talk about like religion or sex at the bar. And now that's all we talk about is religion, sex, and politics. Well, you could talk about sex, but you couldn't talk about like religion and politics at the bar. And now it's like all we talk about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like since that rule has been broken, I was like, let's make it into a joke then, because that's funny. Like a conservative and a liberal walk into a bar. That's hilarious. I would love to see what happens next. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's how it became. And then after a while of doing episodes like that, I did like maybe 13 episodes in that style on this live streaming network called BidChat way back in the day when live streaming was just like becoming a new thing. This is before
You say
Facebook
that
did it.
you say that like it was when it was dial-up or something, bro.
Wait a minute.
This is like way
because it
back
was
in the
before
day.
everybody else started doing live streaming. So like there was no
2 years
IGTV,
ago.
there was no Facebook TV, there was none of that stuff. YouTube didn't have a live streaming
What about
service.
Twitch? Is that the same thing, or
Twitch
is that like hard to
was
monetize?
the only other thing like it, and I think they came out around about the same time. But this was like, it was like this, but like a live streaming network that would just show the shows that one time, and then they stay up online after that. So they're still on there. I haven't found out how to take them off. But they're private on YouTube, so unless you find some magical way to get to them through BidChat, I don't think you'll ever see the old ones. But then we started doing a full cast like the year of 2017. I actually held auditions. So that was 2 years ago exactly, 2 days ago.
Oh,
Wow.
nice. Happy anniversary.
birthday.
Yeah, it was on my birthday that I held the
nice.
first auditions for the full cast.
No, that's surprising.
Happy belated birthday.
Nice.
Thank you.
Was that your planning and your choice?
Yeah, I mean, it just
Little
seemed like a
birthday
good day.
present to yourself?
Yeah, I was like,
God.
why not?
Everyone come perform for me.
Yes. Oh my God.
I made them do it, and they came. So whatever. They loved it, and a lot of them are still in the show. A lot of them. Some of them are not. And after we did that full cast, it was really cool. I eventually stopped doing that crazy ass green screen thing I was doing. We're bringing it back for the mini version, but that's how we basically transitioned to where we are now. And then once we did the next version after that, that was that season. So there's the first season that don't watch. And then the second season, which was like full cast, and then this most recent season, which I produced with Alyssa Brayboy, which was quite an experience. I'll let her tell you about this most recent season.
The most recent season was a learning experience, to say the least. We decided to go SAG, which was amazing. Had a space, had a whole crew as far as a DP and a sound mixer. Like, we went the whole 9 yards, and oh my goodness, guys. I'm like, do I ever want to do this again? We definitely trial and error, but we got some great content out of it, built some really great relationships. And so now we're going back to the drawing board and figuring out what worked, what didn't work. And now we're moving on to the mix and serve minutes. And 2 different versions of the show so that we keep content consistent and growing our audience.
So what is the mix and serve minutes? Like a short version of the show, like a quick hitter?
Yes.
Yeah, so like in the original version, there was this podcast style. It was like this long formatted version trying to mix together mainstream news with social media news to serve the truth in the metaphor of a cocktail. So like the first drink in the show ever was like mainstream media was the bourbon of this drink, right? Like we'll have like a drink of the week and we'll say mainstream media was the bourbon. They've been blacked out for 8 years, so they thought they weren't racist because of who their president was. And then they woke up and realized they've been drinking Kentucky bourbon this whole time. You've been super racist this whole time. And then you go to social media and there's like a little bit of sugar at the bottom for the guys who are like really enjoying being back on top. Like, yeah, you will not forget us. And then the bitters for basically everyone else who's like, what is this? And 2 giant ice cubes because we're locked into this 2-party system. And you throw a cherry in there because it wouldn't be an American story without a cherry on top. And you garnish it with an orange peel because that's who won. And it turns out America's been an old-fashioned this whole time, and everyone's been surprised. So that's like
Great
a
metaphor.
big part of like how just the show works. But that part has stayed consistent while the structure has sort of changed over time. So it went from being like a long hour and a half long podcast style of me doing like several drinks, just like talking about the news.
You drink all of them too?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and drinking games.
And drinking games.
So by the 7th drink, you've had 7 drinks?
But like, yeah, so it's like really important that like the audience was there. That's why we liked having the live streaming audience. And then for both season 2 and season 3, basically, or season 1 and season 2, whatever you want to call them, the 2 full cast seasons we filmed in front of a live audience, which was quite a job.
Yeah.
Was it, did you prefer that or no?
I loved it because, I mean, I think most of us have experience with theater and with comedy and with doing sketch comedy. And so it just worked out, especially because of the drinking game structure and the audience having drinking games made us able to deal with the news a lot better.
Yeah.
It's really funny when you can like listen to Donald Trump and be like, every time he says this in this speech, take a drink. You know, that's not what ever happened in the show, but that's a whatever example.
Sounds like a dangerous game.
But the mix and serve minutes, to answer your question, is just like a 60-second to 120-second clip version of something that's like that, but we'll take like, but it's more weekend update than what we've been doing.
It's like a punchline, one punchline, and then you're out.
It's just like here's the story, here's the joke, here's the drink. Good night.
That's your mix and
With
serve.
the drink of the week, are these drinks you just make up yourself? Like you're creating your own type of drink?
Yeah.
You should make like a
mixologist.
cookbook of those for the show. Like it'd be like the show's drink book.
Carl,
Like
I
sell
like
a drink
you.
book
I
and
like
shit.
you.
You know what I
Adding a
mean?
page to that on our website.
Now you have to give Carl
on the
special
Mix and
thanks.
Serve.
On
on
on it.
themixandserve.bar. If you go to that website, at some point, because of the Mix and Serve minutes, we'll start building up a regular repertoire of these drinks and putting them onto like a page.
Nice.
that people, and there'll be a virgin version next to it because I know some people don't drink, and I don't want you to not enjoy the show just because you don't
right.
drink.
That's
the news
right.
sucks enough. You don't have
That's
to,
right.
You don't have to drink it.
That's right. Everybody ain't R. Kelly. They need They don't need virgins and shit all the time.
God.
See?
Whoa. I tasted that joke in my mouth.
One of my favorite parts of the show is that integration of bartending and mixology and performance and news and comedy. And I think that is a unique angle to take. It's something that no one else has done before. And I love it because I'm a bartender, mixologist, just like you, and have been in distillation for the years. So it's like, oh man, not only am I a nerd about what you're talking about content-wise for news and the jokes you're telling, but I'm like, that's a good old-fashioned. Like,
Yes.
I was like, I see what spirit they're using. All right, I get that brand.
Oh, by the way, I also have a degree in mixology, even though I never had a bartending job. I learned all 200-some drinks. I still got the index cards I used to study at home.
That's amazing.
I'm gonna get you a cookie.
We'll definitely have you as
Awesome.
a guest on the show at some point. It'll be wild.
Yeah, we'll be wild. One of the things I wanted to ask is, we gear our show to the kid out there in the middle of nowhere or, coming up wants to get into entertainment and doesn't know how. So, like, what challenges from a production and show running aspect did you guys have with the live studio audience? Because you guys filmed the live studio show, and I'm sure there were things that you're like, oh, I didn't expect this, and maybe you had to find a solution to, or something you could, like, offer as, like, hey, when doing this, maybe do it this way instead for, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll just talk about the first season, and I'll let you handle this most
sounds
recent
good.
one. The first time we did it, we filmed it in a studio in Glendale. And one of the big things that's been tough for me to figure out as a producer is where exactly to spend your money. It's like you only have so much, so it's like, do you invest in better equipment or better people that come with the equipment, or do you invest in the space and hope the space has the equipment? You know what I mean? Because a lot of the money that you're going to invest is going to be into equipment, space, and people. Those are your main expenses most times. So at least for the first season, we kind of skimped on. No, I mean, it was a really great space, but just where it was location-wise for what we were doing made it really difficult. It's out there in Glendale where, like, a lot of people would have to drive to, and we don't want people driving to the show. So, we didn't have the best. We had actually way better attendance than I thought we would. I don't know how the people were getting out there because there was, like, no cars outside every time. But I guess Glendale was just very Uberable too. It was right at, like, the little nipple, like right at the bottom of the nipple of Glendale right now.
It was right off the interstate.
Right
It
off
was
the
pretty
interstate.
easy to get
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. Yeah, you've been over there. So it was cool, but shooting with the green screen was crazy difficult. Shooting with the bar stage setup that we had was very difficult. It just needed wheels so bad. And we just didn't have the time or space to get any wheels. And then, we ran into a lot of issues like that. But I mean, really the main issue was, like, if you're going to film a show in front of a live audience, you got to put it in, like, a really good place. And you got to really set it up to be, like, ready for that. So, like, our very first night, we can't even air that episode because, like, we were not expecting a full house. We had 75 people the first episode. Damn. And we were expecting maybe 30. Damn. We did not have enough chairs at all. It was standing room. Like, there were people standing in front of the camera. I was like, what am I going to do? Kick them out? I was like, and it was then that I realized, I was like, we only have one camera. We need more. Just because with the type of show it is, you know what I mean? Like, you need a 3-camera setup, basically. That's like how all the other shows do it that do it. And it just took us a while to be like, oh, that's how you shoot that. Which led us to season 2, where we ran into other things.
More things. Dealing with a live audience, you definitely need to prepare them. Let them know, like, we're filming. So there's no up and down. There's, like, you need to get here on time or you're not getting into the show. Like, it was so interesting. People showing up late, walking across the camera. It's like, you've got to be kidding me. You would think these things were common sense, and they're not. And so that leads me into something else that we had a little bit of difficulty with is paperwork and contracts and waivers. And I'm like, oh, we don't get to show the drinking games because we don't have a release from the audience members that we used. So we got to cut that. That's not going to work. So it was a lot of trial and error as far as dealing with a live audience.
Season 1 and 2.
You could air them just with blurry faces. That'd be super weird.
Yeah, it would be so weird. And the thing is that it's just like, the issue is that like it was really important to us in developing this show that the people who did work on this show got paid for their time, which is very brave of us to say at just this level that we're at as a business. But it worked out this last season. Like, we were able to pay people, we were able to get stuff done, people were able to go SAG. And that really means a lot to me to give jobs to the specific groups of people that I tried to when I created this show. Yeah, you should know that before you start watching it. It's all black people. Don't be surprised. Don't be like, hey, where's that? I don't see the white guy. This show doesn't look right. Wait a minute. No, they're not on there.
It was very diverse, too. A lot of females, too. I was really happy about that. That was a beautiful thing.
It's a very female-led show. It was. I mean, there's just like, you know, when I originally created it, Larry Wilmore's show had just been canceled, and his show was the first satirical news show I saw that had like more than one black woman on there as like a correspondent on the show. And I was like, oh, wow. Hey, wait a minute. This is really cool. Like, and it was that fucking, what's the girl's name with the braids who always does really smart MTV videos, Decoded? She does Decoded. I can't remember her name.
I don't know. I'm past the MTV.
She's really smart, man. She's just so smart. And I was like, damn, they're just so, man, this is like great. Like, and she's fucking hilarious. And I was like, oh, wow, why isn't this like a normal thing? I was like, and then I looked at all the other satirical news shows and I was like, you got Michael Che and Trevor Noah, who's black, yes. Yeah. But like, besides them, it's all white guys. And I was like, well,
because you know what it is.
Why don't I just write something that has mostly women as the leads? And then I was like, well, I have to be the bartender because I'm the only one that can make these drinks. I'm a mixologist. I don't want to hire a new mixologist or hire a fucking, what do they call them? Fucking consultant. No, that's waste of my time and money. So I figured I'll do myself, but instead of it just being myself, I'll have a female co-host, and then we'll run the show.
I was going to say, I like what you guys are doing because in America, there's not many minorities or black media that exist. There's not an African-American voice. Like, they got YouTube now, and you know, there's that whole black YouTube area, and there's a whole bunch of black, motherfucking, white supremacy, you know, scream their mind out, but there's people's voices are getting out, and, you know, there's not much of that. Like you said, you'll see the shows, but there's a lot of what you would call tokenism. I guess you would show be the one Mexican guy, the one Asian dude, the one black dude, the one light-skinned black dude, the one dark-skinned black dude, you know what I mean? And then everybody else is just, but that is the technical diaspora of the country. I mean, 60% of the country is Caucasian, you know, so. But it's good that African Americans are building something, which is something we ain't never done. We just sit back and just watch everybody say, like, why don't you put more black people on your shit? Yeah. And they be like, no, why don't you make your own shit? And you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Will's like, dang, you know what? I'm gonna make my own shit. And that's how you do it.
I got that totally inspiration from Issa Rae and Donald Glover and people like that just like at the age I was at and where I was at in my career, I was like, if I see one more slave movie, I was so angry. I was so tired of seeing slave movies. I was so tired. I was so tired. I couldn't be more tired. And so I was like, you know what? There's just no need for this.
Oh my God, the irony of Hollywood is when you get your first big role, it's gonna be in a slave movie.
You think so? I've actually never played a slave.
They're gonna be like, yo, I got $80 million for you.
I'd be like, damn,
your name's gonna be Django McSlave Negro.
You know, I've got into real discussions.
You gotta wear these tap shoes and hold these butter biscuits.
No, I wouldn't take it.
I'll be like,
It would be so easy for me not to take it too. Right. It would be so easy. Right. If somebody offered me a prisoner role from today, I would say yes. That is modern day slavery. Okay. And I feel like that story is important. Okay. But talking about old slavery is not helpful too, because what it does is it diminishes the act of modern day slavery as if it's not, hey, it's not this bad. Remember when we used to whoop your ass? Yeah. We used to whoop your ass. You still whip my ass. It's just a billy club now. There's no difference. You know what I mean? So I couldn't play one just because I couldn't. I respect everybody that does. There's no hate against anybody that wants to tell that story. I understand. It is a story. Tell all the stories you want to tell. I'm going to tell a different story that's more fun, and I want to think my way through it. Yeah. Because there's too many goddamn slave movies. Right?
I feel like you need to make a parody satire of a slave movie.
No. There's enough of those too.
There's a Chappelle sketch out there.
Yeah, that Chappelle sketch did it for me. I was like, that's all we need.
About that sketch.
There's that, and then that one meme of like the black guy whipping the white guys in the cotton field, and Martin Luther King is like in the clouds, like
smiling.
That's funny.
I love it.
I have not seen that.
It's one of my favorite memes.
One of the things I was saying is you're joking about this. You like to joke your way through life in a positive manner. In a positive manner. That's what I meant. It's like a compliment.
I don't have problems, Dev.
You're a joke, Will.
Yeah, seriously.
That's not what I meant, bro. But so how do you write a joke? Like when you go for writing for the Mix and Serve, what is your process of examining a new segment and then making it into a joke? Like
that's a
how
very
do
good
you
question.
put the spin?
That's a very good question. It has been many different things, especially as like the writing team has developed, because originally it was just me. which was just crazy hard. And what I would do is I would ask my really intelligent friends that I cared about from all over the country and all over the world, I would say, hey, just shoot me articles that you read that you think are super interesting, and I'll take that article and I'll find the funny thing in it. And these days it's so easy to find. The thing is too is to just trust your voice as a comedian. I think is the biggest thing. Like when I read something, I know that I'm gonna find what's funny to me in it always, and like that, if I say it honestly enough, will be funny to everybody else because they'll be like, that is honest and it's true. So like it depends on the story. Like that whole thing about the Trump's election, like coming up with that joke was like, at least for the mix and serve, most times what we'll do is we'll take a story, we'll look at the main facts. We always do the facts first, and then we'll break down how did the mainstream cover this? Like what's funny about that? How did social media cover this? What's funny about that? And then what's our basic assessment of the story based on all that came before?
Nice.
And
Put
it's like
your own spin on it.
Right, yeah. But that's just for like the main bartenders. The segments are quite different.
Elaborate.
Right. They're different in that, like, so the segments, what they'll do is they'll basically do like 7 minutes of stand-up around their given topic and then do a drinking game with the audience.
Nice.
So I really love that structure. I love it so much. But what they do is, so let's take, for example, traffic or weather. Like two of our greatest fucking people on the show, Tress Glenn and Lee Jones. They've been just amazing on the show for 2 seasons already. I can always trust them. What they'll do is throughout the week, I'll have people from the segments send me stories from their subject matter. Another plane went missing in Malaysia, hurricane coming up through Florida, that kind of stuff. And then I'll be like, okay, what's the joke here? And we'll have like a writer's meeting as a full cast with everybody, with me, Alyssa, and all the cast. And we'll like talk about these stories and find out like what's funny about them and then craft those jokes.
A lot of open discussion and just talking over each other, and then something will hit. Like, all right, somebody needs to write that down. Like, that was great.
Yeah, we had that exactly happen on the Mix and Serve Minutes last week when we filmed it. So we were trying to come up with this.
You don't want to ruin it.
I don't want to ruin it. I'm gonna ruin it anyways. So we were trying to come up with this joke about the Michael Jackson situation or whatever, the new documentary that came out, Leaving Neverland. Yeah. Because and the thing is, I'm very adamant on my show that we can make jokes about anything.
Oh yeah.
It's just that it has to be funny and it has to be fair. You know what I mean? We don't want to make jokes at someone's deep expense in a way that's gonna probably hurt someone eventually. You know what I mean? So I was like, how do we cover this topic without making fun of people molesting kids? Okay, how do we do this?
I'm like,
so it was very delicate, but as we were talking about it, we were talking about its relation to Black people and Black people's reaction to it and how that's where the joke is. It's somewhere in there. And we're just throwing up these sentences, and I don't remember what I said that was the second half of the joke that came before, but Lee Jones was like, we could talk about how Black people can't step in the name of love or moonwalk anymore. Oh, and that's what the other half of the joke was. I was like, yeah, because all Black cookouts are basically being canceled right now. And not just because it's cold in March. But yeah, that's kind of how we ended up at that joke, was just throwing ideas up on a board and being like, finding finding where the joke is, the general ballpark of it's somewhere in here. We know it's got to do with these people feeling some kind of way about it. And then we'll find that nugget, and once it strikes, we just write it down. And keep it.
What are some of y'all's favorite jokes from the seasons?
You have any favorite jokes?
Favorite stories or whatever?
Mine are just always situational, and I'm a big "that's what she said." I can't help it, y'all. I find them and they just land and they're great.
I gotta give you props. Every time I've hung out with you, you've dropped a perfect "that's what she said" joke, right at the right time.
It just makes me so happy. I'm so immature. I'm a child inside. I'm like, hee, that's what she said. And Will's like, really, Alyssa?
Every time.
And just. Some of mine have to do with props, the live audience. It makes such a difference. Will and I were making a drink, and we were a couple steps ahead of something, and he picked up this big ass cucumber. He goes, and now we're gonna move on there's just this huge ass cucumber. I'm looking at it, I'm like, we're not there yet. Like, I am not.
Audience died.
It's one of those things like you have to see. The timing was just great. It was beautiful. Those are some
yeah,
of my
that was
favorite
definitely
moments.
That's what she said moment too. Because I was like, all right, and now we're gonna move on. She was like, we are not there yet. And I was like, no, we are. We are. Yeah, that's a great joke. Some of my favorite jokes are actually bloopers. There was one from this past season that I will just never forget. So Jonathan Bangs, two of the people that are in this show went to high school with me.
Wait, the guy's name is Jonathan Bangs.
If you're a person that likes to make shows, or you're an actor watching this show, like, always be careful how you treat everybody because you never know.
It's a relationship built industry. 100%.
Who's gonna fuck with Johnny Bangs?
Johnny Bangs, man. Johnny Bangs is that dude. But Johnny Bangs is a lot younger than me. He was a freshman when I was a junior in high school, and I cast him in his first play that he was ever in. Very awesome dude. And Johnny was a freshman when I was a senior, but Lee Jones was a junior when I was a freshman. Anyways, they're both in the show. And Jonathan Bangs was off stage. We had a lot of problems this season about like trying to deal with drinks in the audience and all that. So Johnny was getting drinks for the show for me on stage. And I was like, grab me some wine. And he's like, red or white? And I guess he had been asking me about wine all night. So I was like, that's the red, Johnny. It's going to be the red. He was like, why are we against whites? And it was so loud. Like, the audience was dead silent when he responded from the kitchen behind them. It was not planned at all. Like, he's not supposed to be talking from back there. But everybody died. I couldn't hold it together at all. And I was like, okay. And then we just cut. I was like, that's it. That's the end of the show. Everybody go home. But yeah, so those are some of my favorite ones. They're just stuff that happened like spontaneously that weren't even written. That's kind of the great thing about the Mix and Syrup Minutes though, is like, so the past versions of this have been very like loose sketch. You know, it's like you have written material, but it's like if you've ever gone to see Drunk Shakespeare in New York, or like I used to do this show out in Philly called Bye Bye Liver, where they got Brouhaha out here. This is really funny to watch actors drunkenly try to do something that they definitely know how to do. It's really not that hard. You know? It's like you're just supposed to stand there and be like, this week in the news, someone is going to jail. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. It's been really funny to shoot it like that, which is why I love Tress's character. And the actors aren't always so drunk. Like, Tress's character is never as drunk as she actually seems. It just would not be good for her health. But yeah, so that's the show.
Ooh, have you guys ever had a problem with an audience score who got a little too hammered and got maybe heckly or rowdy at all?
You.
I love this.
Carl came to the show one time and was pretty loud. That was whatever. It was fine. I edited it all out.
That's what I do. That's what I do, son.
It wasn't a bad heckling. It was just really consistent.
It was distinct. I'm like,
I kept a lot of the laughs. I was like, his laughs are hilarious, but it's when he gets to talking with us that I'm like, I think Carl's forgetting where we are.
Yeah, you know, because it was communal. It was like Erica, you know, hey, what we doing?
We actually had
I got excited.
We had another guy that I won't mention his name, but this guy got really drunk and had a discussion with two of the girls on set, like during the show, because they said something about men, and he was like, "Wait a minute."
like, homie, it's not that kind of show.
This happened last season.
It's not Maury.
It was so funny. And it was fine because what happened was, because I know all of them, you know, most of the people that have come to see the show, I know them either personally or they met me before they come to see the show, or I met them when they first come to see it. And the great thing about this show is that people would think, because the show is written relatively liberally, I think at this point still, I try to make it more balanced, but sometimes it's just hard. It's so hard. I'm just like, what are they talking about? But I try to make it more balanced, and one of the places where we do that is like in just opening up the conversation. So like this dude like got really drunk and had this disagreement with our cast members on set, and I was like, you know what? Let's talk about it. Like, let's figure it out. And we did, and it all worked out, and we are all great today.
Also add that element by having guests. That was something that was really important. It worked out really well for us this past season. We would invite different guests to come speak about things that we weren't really too sure on ourselves, like the different prepositions that we were voting on. Like, can someone please break this down?
That's important.
And so it was fantastic.
We were very lucky to have the campaign director for Yes on Prop 10.
And
which
we
is
have
really
Prop
dope.
8 as well.
And then one of the guys from Prop 8, one of the representatives from Prop 8, which was just really cool, man. I hope I don't have those backwards.
No,
I can't remember which prop was which. They both failed.
Unfortunately.
I think our
yeah,
episode
our
aired
rent
too
is
late.
still too damn high.
Rent is still too damn high.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, we added guests to the show, man, and that was really cool. So like in the new versions of the Mix and Serve, there are 3 new versions that we're getting into. We've already filmed the first series. Because they're not really, at least for the Mix and Serve minutes, it's not like as in episodes. It's just like little ones that we drop. So it won't be named like the Mix and Serve episode 1. Those are like the real Mix and Serve episodes. So the Mix and Serve minutes will just be like the Mix and Serve minutes, R. Kelly. That'll be the whole title, and people will just watch it like that on YouTube and on Instagram and Facebook. So we wanted to make like this mini version that like makes the news digestible in an era where there's just so much coming at you so fast and so hard that it's like I want to make this like easy, like a quick little sip of water, like good. Now I know what's going on.
That was nice.
Done.
So you guys gonna start doing shots instead of drinks? Is that what you're saying?
Ooh, wait a minute, Devin,
Well, I'm
wait a
still gonna
minute,
make the
wait a
drinks
minute.
just so that people like just because I don't know the way this show structure works. It just feels best to like have the drinks there as like the staple base. Like this is still the damn bar.
Is the audience BOYB or BYOB?
No, we provide. We control all of that. We don't want the audience doing that. We did that the first season.
And it was too loud.
And I think that's why 75 people showed up the first time. They were like, yeah, party. Oh, this is a show. Even better. I was like, oh, God. But so there's the Mix and Serve minutes, and then there's the Mix and Serve after hours. And in both of those, we're going to focus more on having more guests on the show. The Mix and Serve after hours is like the same show we've been doing, but more like Cheers, where you have our entire staff and then our guests and no live audience, just hanging out in the closed bar. Which is our network name, and where you can find us under most things, The Damn Bar, the Drunken American Millennial Network Bar. Which, for the record,
I was wondering what the hat was.
yes, I made this morning really hot.
This morning.
So when I first made the show was back in October 2016, and by the time I cast it, Kendrick had just put out his damn album. So like our very first rehearsal, Tress Glenn was like, "So Will, what we gonna do about this damn thing?" I was like, well, we keeping this damn thing because no one got a trademark on damn as far as I know.
Yeah.
Right.
The cuss word,
bar at the end.
you know?
Boom.
But I mean, ours is an acronym, and his is actually the word damn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Different.
Like ours is like a news network station. You know, it's like you guys fucking get it, all right?
Yeah, we get it.
So yeah, that's how that went. I hope I answered the question. I don't even remember what it was.
Well,
You're a good
Rowdies.
kid.
Thank you.
what kind of games do you guys play? Like drinking games?
Oh, man, I
do you
love
make them up
drinking
or you
games so
just do
much.
like beer pong?
So I've
Yeah,
made
or
up
you get
several
creative.
games, and
like
then we've
Drunken
done a couple
Battleship.
games that are like well known. One of the games, let me think of them all.
We've done Never Have I Ever.
Well, we've done Never Have I Ever and Would You Rather.
Always a classic.
Yep.
And Would You Rather and but see the Never. Which
Some
one?
of them got confusing. I love you, but they did.
Oh, but see the Would You
You
Rather.
can't have too many
I was
rules when you're drinking.
It wasn't
Yeah.
even too many rules. It's just that like I was really drunk when I renamed these games. So like Would You Rather wasn't Would You Rather. It was like Would You Weather, and it was just very confusing to everyone.
Yeah. Sounds like a bit of
Some
tongue
of them
twister.
did not make
And there
the
were some,
cut,
yeah,
y'all.
but there were some games that stayed and some games that left. One of the ones I really want to bring back is like By Any Means Necessary. I just don't know how to deal with it yet. I'm just trying to figure out all my drinking games that like make the news more fun. And I don't want to do the ones that's like drink every time Trump says something dumb because we would all die. Alcohol poisoning would just not go well for us. So yeah, we're still working out the games, but the games are going to be really for our third version. So we have the Mix and Serve minutes and the Mix and Serve after hours, which focus more on the jokes, the drinks, and the content or the guests. And then there's the regular Mix and Serve as we've been doing it, which we're only going to do once a month. We're going to have comedians open up for us, awesome comedians that I know and that Devin knows and all that.
Cool.
And we'll focus more on the drinking games when we put it back in front of a live audience.
Okay.
Because the drinking games are a whole thing. I mean, I'll put rules in there. Like if you go to the website, I'll put rules on there. Like if you watch the show consistently, you can do these things. Like one of the rules. I did make up several drinking game rules. Wait, and I just remembered that there are 3 rules for every.
See, that's that alpha brain, bro. That's that alpha brain.
It just kicked in.
When a correspondent walks in, you drink.
Yes, there are 3 main rules of the show. The first one is that anytime, because this is the damn bar, we don't cheers with a cheers, we cheers with a damn. So anytime a cast member says damn, because the first season we just let anybody say damn, and it was a terrible idea. People in the audience were like, damn, just all the time. I was like, we haven't said anything.
Damn it.
This week, damn. Wait, calm down. Right. So now it's just whenever the cast members say damn, everybody says damn, we all take a drink. It's really cool. And I only cheers with damn now. I don't even say cheers anymore unless I'm speaking in another language. Damn. And I only know how to say cheers in other languages, so there's that.
So you just yelling damn at people all the time?
That's right. That's crazy. Especially at every bar I go to now. So yeah, there's damn, and then what was the other 2?
Anytime a correspondent walks in.
Anytime a correspondent walks in the room, everybody says damn, takes a drink. And then anytime the bar anchors drink, you drink. And Alyssa has worked as our international news correspondent and our bar anchor.
Yes.
And she's worn all the hats. We both had to wear all the hats.
In the same episode? Like she'll run from one position to another?
Oh, no.
I tried.
No.
He wouldn't let me.
No,
he told me to go
not.
back to my hostess stand.
Yeah, definitely not.
But I did get a promotion one day, and it was fan-flippin-tastic.
You got a promotion for the Mix and Serve Minutes. She's our bar anchor on the Mix and Serve Minutes with me.
Is this the first thing you guys have ever produced, like as far as a big thing, like produced yourselves, produced together, or yourselves, or both, or?
Together, yes. By myself. Oh, wait, go back, Alyssa. Together, yes. I'm producing 2 other things. Yes, it is a process, and I am learning.
What are you producing? Tell us about these things.
I'm producing something with Patricia Beauchamp, and it is a pilot that I can't speak much about, but it is set in the golden era of Hollywood, and so far we're playing with the title The Golden State, and so that's been really exciting. Anything that you see on my IG that has a vintage feel to it, back in the 1920s to about 1940s, that's what that is. We've been doing a lot of proof of concept, and that's coming along. So period pieces are a beast of their own, and I had no idea. So that is that. And there is a short film that I've been piecing together and working on with a friend of mine in upstate New York that touches on the gray area of sexual assault. Sexual assault and abuse is really big for me. And so it deals with that. And so,
nice.
Yeah.
Dope. There you go, producing one. Is there any kind of like producer rules, like producer rule number 1, never such and such? You got any producer rules or anything you've learned yet in your producer hunting game life and the producer struggles? You will? Any producer rules? Because I know you had to strangle 2-3 actors at least twice, because talent.
One producer rule, never strangle actors.
Oh, man. Y'all messing it up. I don't want to produce no more. All right.
Producer rule that I'm learning is to learn how to ask for help. So we're wearing all of these different hats, and we put so much pressure on ourselves to get things done. And, like if you don't let people know that you're drowning, no one's going to be able to help you. They're not going to be able to save you. And so communication is key, and being able to be like, you know what? I don't got this right now. I need some help. And then getting with your team and figuring out, okay, what can we do? What's going on?
Yeah. I've only produced big stuff before. This was all theater, either in Philly or New York or Atlanta. So this is my first big film project I've ever produced. This is also my first time film directing. I remember our first episode, I forgot to say action, so we all stood there. It was a long ass 60 seconds. Everybody stood there, and they were like, sound speeding, camera rolling, lights, and I was like, yeah. I was backstage waiting like this.
Directors.
And then the DP was like, Will? I was like, yeah. He's like, you gonna say action? Oh yeah, action.
God, I love you.
So this is my first time with so much of this as far as film goes. I've learned so many different things. It's hard to get into everything.
How much has
like thinking about like what's the number one thing I've learned as a producer? I have so much.
Man.
Well, like, how much has your theater experience and training translated over to this because of the live?
Man.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I guess
a lot of
times
that helps me actually answer the last question too, because like my theater training as a producer, like you expect everything to come together sort of at the last minute. You know what I mean? Theater is so like for guts or glory kind of shit. You know what I mean? That everybody's like, yeah, we'll do it.
Whatever it takes, show must go on.
Theater, like, they don't care. They'll be like, let's do the show. I don't care. Well, then we're out on the streets. It makes it better. You know, film actors would be like, ha, that wasn't on my call sheet. See you next week, bitch. You know what I mean?
True.
I guess in that way, I've had to learn to adjust to not only New York versus LA, but just that kind of work ethic in actors is very different between New York and LA. No offense to LA. It's just that the cats in New York, like, you know, when you film something, they are there. Whereas you never know what's going to happen. Like, we had a crazy sound person who just abandoned us in the last episode of the first season. So it's been hard to trust. Like, before as a theater producer, I brought a lot of trust into this process. And now I have taken out a lot of that trust. And it's hard to realize that trust is needed and I have to delegate better as a producer. I think that's the difference between theater producing and maybe film producing is I feel like there's a lot more of like me making sure like, hey, this is the thing I need you to do. Do it now. You know what I mean?
Following up and checking work.
Yeah, it's just different. Like in theater, like it's like you tell someone to do something and everything is like, so you know, it's very different. Like in film, this is a real business, I feel like, as opposed to like theater was way more like for fun.
Well, you think it's because theater is live, so there is no do-over. You know, there is no fixing it. We don't get a second shot to do it. We can't clean. But with film, it's just like, oh, cut, redo. You know, I can edit that out. I can cut that out. You know, shit like that. Do you think that plays a factor? Almost like the pressure of like defense on a jump shot. You make it because the D is good. You know, kind of thing.
That and like my theater. God damn it. My theater teacher in high school said that we do theater for the glory, we do television for the money, and movies for the fame. And I think that that's why it's so different as a producer. Like, when you're working with these people on the theater set, everyone's passionate about the project because they all feel like they have ownership of it. Because they get to do it that day, it's theirs. Whereas in film, it's like, do your job, go home. Now we're gonna edit for however long, and we'll put it up when we're ready.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So there's much more
It's a different kind of reward system, I think, and that's what makes film so much more different than theater as far as producing goes for me. You know what? I will say this about producing. The one big thing I have learned is, especially with projects that I'm creating, like it's different because I've learned a lot as a producer. Like just when I produce things that I didn't make myself. But for the show that I've made, it's very hard as a producer to realize like where I need to accept changes that have to happen to the show so that it can live. You know what I mean? Because this show is
almost too personal. It's almost too personal, I guess you would say.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, it's like my baby. So it's like I just want it to be like the most funny, informative show ever. Just, you know, I'm only asking for the most black, most funny, most informative show ever. That's also the most drunk. Is that asking for too much? Maybe.
No.
But I'm going to keep doing it.
That's where the baby mama came in, because
That's right.
we had
she means her.
That means
She's the mother of the
Mama
show.
Makes and Serve.
We gotta clarify this kind of stuff.
Yes,
You know we black.
I'm sorry.
It's getting more and more like Maury Povich.
They're like, I do not have a baby. No, I do not have a child.
No, we just had to nourish the Mix and Serve baby just a lot of bit.
Yeah, I guess that was the other part. Was like with theater, like I could produce it on my own. With film, I cannot do this on my own.
And,
I've had to add a whole team for this to be successful.
There's more moving parts in film, you know?
A lot more.
So one of the questions we always ask our guests is if you had unlimited resources, won the largest lottery ever, whatever, money is not an object. What project would you want to do, or what would you want to do with the Mix and Serve? You can do both, like the Mix and Serve and then some. I don't know. I just like to ask people like, what is their dream goal? Like,
that's so funny. You want to go first?
I do want to go first.
Okay.
As it pertains to the Mix and Serve, I've always seen it as it's staying ours, and we're not going to sell it. It's just going to keep growing. I want our own damn bar. I want a studio set up in the bar, but it's an actual bar. It's a restaurant. People are going to come. There are certain nights that we film the mix and serve, and you get to be a part of that experience. I mean, we film it on other nights as well, but I want to have that foundation of like, yeah, we're going to the damn bar and we're seeing the mix and serve, but we don't just have the mix and we're going to the damn bar.
Going to the damn bar.
Yep, we're gonna watch the mix and serve. We have other shows underneath of Damn because it is a network, so we grow off of the mix and serve, and that has always been how I envision the mix and serve in the Damn bar.
Damn, that's cool. That's a good franchise kind of thing. Like one in
Yes,
Vegas, one in New
sir.
York, one in LA.
That's
And you
the
can
plan.
always videotape there and do
That's-
other shows.
That's the plan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're
Travel,
trying to
yep.
we're trying to get. I mean, that's why we want to do the mix and serve minutes to get the show like really out there, because the way the new algorithms are working, like it's hard for. Because most of the people who are in this cast and crew, we have like thousands of friends and followers. It's just hard to get it to them without. There's a lot of marketing and stuff that goes into everything, but we're learning all that.
Yes.
But as we do, we're trying to focus ourselves so that we can grow that way. Like the next places I want to have this show are in Atlanta and Philadelphia, two of my favorite cities in the country. And I think that both of those cities would love this show. And there's enough black people in both those cities to do this show.
There you go.
Easily. If I had like all the money, I just love that idea.
Ace Ventura 3.
So good. Ace Ventura, that's right. I'm definitely going to talk with my butt on screen in an interview. I don't know which one, but maybe this one.
If you've got all the money in the world, why not?
I would definitely do that with the mix and serve, just because I obviously, being a mixologist and a bartender for so long, I know I could own a bar, and it would be fine. I would just put someone in charge of most of the other things that I should be doing. But I would do that and definitely make the Damn network like a whole network with all these different like news shows under it, like Mix and Serve and blah, 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 blah. But I mean, if I had like unlimited resources, I would probably turn the Damn channel like into like a whole like actual network. Like I want to own an actual network. I want to be a network executive.
Yeah,
That's what I want. If I could buy my way to it, I'd buy my way to it right now. I wouldn't ask any questions.
Would every
we're gonna
show
build our way
be
to it.
alcohol-centric?
Huh?
Would every show be alcohol-centric? Like every show would just be a drunk version of another show?
Man network.
No, I don't think it needs to be. Although that's really funny that it's called the Drunken American Millennial Network.
Right.
You could do like Double Dare 2000, but everybody's drunk.
That's funny. I mean, that's the other thing is like
Your insurance is through the roof.
Yes, it is.
Like I do see where some people are like, you can't do a whole thing on drinking. That's too much drinking. I'm like, listen, drinking has been a big part of American culture the whole time. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
You guys
Fuck
have
yeah.
made that very clear. And for me to not profit off of that just seems silly. For anyone to be like,
It's
you
silly.
can't talk about drinking this much. Well, Prohibition disagrees with you, sir. Prohibition disagrees.
Not only that, the revolution. John Hancock he imported different goods, and he hired Sam Adams to smuggle in alcohol under the governor of Boston's tariff. So the Revolutionary War was founded by smuggling alcohol away from the British.
America was founded
Yes.
when the Pilgrims. This is fucking true. This is so funny. This is one of the funniest things I ever learned in Philadelphia, and I got into America's history in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is great for that shit.
Yeah.
I learned that the original settlers brought 3 times as much liquor as they did water when they first moved here.
Hell
Yeah,
They were like,
Because it
I'm
stays
sure we'll
clean.
find water there, but bring all the booze. I was like, that explains a lot about America.
Dude,
Your
for
mom
sure.
was like super drunk. She's like, come on, y'all. Let's go to America.
It was
We're
sterile.
gonna, gonna get my
that's-
homies to grow up from Colin.
You guys know that's the origin of the invention of a gin and tonic. Like a gin and tonic, tonic water has quinine in it. Quinine comes from the bark of a tree, and it is used to treat malaria and dysentery and all these and cramps. So in the British Army, when they would sail, they would always bring quinine, but it has a bitter ass flavor. So they would put quinine in water, but the water would go bad over months long journeys in the hot sun in the Atlantic Ocean. So they would add gin to it to make it sterile, and that gin and tonic became the drink of the Navy. the British Royal Navy to like survive and prevent malaria going on their bloodthirsty conquering spree.
I knew I was healthy for a reason. I'm real healthy. I drink a lot of gin and tonic.
Yeah. The quinine is good for you. It's good for you. So, gin and tonics are not a health drink, but mentally and physically.
So take tonic with your on it.
Right? Oh my God.
Plugged.
Well, any words of wisdom to close us out for the up-and-comer in the industry? You got the young person out there who wants to get into producing, acting, whatever. Advice, words of wisdom you've come along.
Yes, surround yourself with people who know things that you do not.
Facts.
And be open to listening and learning from them.
There you go. Oh.
Damn.
Bam.
I gotta take a moment. That was really good.
Will's just like, how am I gonna top that? I don't have anything to say.
That's my same exact motto. I just said that to someone yesterday. Like that's to me my most important thing as an artist, period. Like regardless of producer, acting, like whatever level, I always try to surround myself with people better than me. Miles Davis was real strict about that. He was like, you can't hang out with me if you ain't better than me at something.
Yeah.
I was like, I love that shit. I'm all about that. Something else to help people is to never fucking quit.
Yes.
That's the best advice that I remember I did. I'm going to tell you a quick story only because it's so important to like that theme. I was like homeless in Atlanta my senior year of high school, and I was real stressed out. And I just won the August Wilson monologue competition like the second year in a row. And I went on to New York and won it nationally, and it was crazy. We came back, and they wanted us to perform the monologues in front of like a bunch of black celebrities. They didn't tell us who. And they brought us to some mansion out there. Don't worry, it's not about to get creepy. I know now.
It's like some Corey Feldman shit. Yeah, I was about
some
to say.
eyes wide shut. What's going on?
No. So Bill Nunn, may he rest in peace. Radio Raheem, as a lot of people from the black community know him. He was a good friend of mine at the time and was low-key trying to date my mom. But he took me inside. It was like, oh, I want to introduce you to some people. And he brought me over to Sam Jackson, who was like smoking this big fat cigar. Still looked super cool looking motherfucker. And we chatted for a bit, and then later on we all did the monologue. And after I did my monologue, and nobody knows like where I am in life at this point, but like Sam Jackson just walks over to me and just was like, don't ever give up. And I've never given up.
There you go.
And I just think like that to be from there to here is like, never give up, kids.
Yeah.
Stay in school. Or drop out. I dropped out, but I mean, give up on the right things. Just don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on what you really want.
Oh, awesome.
Great.
Beautiful. I think that I don't have anything to follow with that. I want to thank you guys for coming on the show.
Thank you.
We at Skitbags, you know we love you. We got your back. We're helping you out. Whatever we can do, we're going to spread the love, spread the message. It's all good.
Yeah. We still gonna do CNN News?
Oh, yes. See, that's the thing. That's why I'm trying to expand the damn umbrella, because then we can do all these other ridiculous shows I have in mind for the news. I love making fun of the news, man. It's so fun. The news sucks so fucking bad.
Yeah.
It's so hard to watch.
Begging for it. They're
They're
begging
for it.
Yeah.
Oh, God, they do it to themselves every day. I was no lie. I was watching the news, and they were playing a blooper of the news. And I was like, you're not supposed to do that. They're like, look at all this dumb shit we did last week. Like,
and them dancing around and shit.
that's fucked up. You know that, right? That's not good.
That gets the
Like
ratings
football
up.
players don't show their own fucked up reels. Like, man, you see that guy who broke my leg? Look at that. It's cool, right? Man, I suck. Anyways, fuck the news. Watch Damn.
There you go.
It is.
Well, why don't you guys to the camera let the people know what you got going on. Let's plug some social media, whatever you guys want. Social media, website, personal, professional,
Follow me
whatever.
at lady.abee to stay in touch with what it is that I have going on. Boom.
On Instagram, yeah. My Instagram is @funkinyaface. It's spelled exactly how I pronounced it. If you have trouble finding it, then you ain't spell it right. Funk in your face. You can also find the Mix and Serve at The Mix and Serve. You can also check out our website, which will lead you to everything. TheMixandServe.bar.
Ooh.
Yeah, I didn't know I could
Is that
do
Barbados?
Yeah. Is that what?
Where's the server, Barbados?
No, it's just .bar.
No,
It's
just,
a thing
no,
now.
You can do that.
Oh, you
just
can?
put like dot whatever the fuck you want, I guess.
Oh.
And I was like, oh,
They charge
you can
you
do
extra.
dot bar.
Yeah, I thought it was like a country
It wasn't
code.
too much extra. It was enough. It was worth it.
It was worth it. I'm
was
just
worth
saying, it's extra.
But so yeah, the Mix and Serve bar. You can also check out the Mix and Serve on Facebook and on YouTube. Please subscribe. Because when the Mix and Serve minute's gonna hit, you're gonna want to say you was there, man. There's people that was at the first live taping. I saw one of them last night. He was like, yeah. Make sure everybody knows I was there in the beginning. So the Mix and Serve. I think that's all the plugs I have. No, I'm gonna wait for those.
Okay.
Wait for those?
Yeah, I'll wait for those.
Yeah.
We'll plug other stuff as we go. Oh no, Fight Dub. No, I can plug Fight
You
Dub.
can plug Fight Dub.
Check out Fight
Will
Dub.
just joined our Fight Dub team,
Oh, you doing Fight
it's
Dub?
an actual show now.
I
Because
love
before
Fight
it
Dub.
was just fucking me, and Will has more experience doing a bunch of this behind the scenes work. So I'm like, you know what I need to fucking make this show actually good and legit technically is Will. I need Will. Please come help me.
Well, thank you, man. You and Bert are great. We had a really great guest on. We're gonna be dropping footage of that. Probably some teasers today.
The Spartan Christos, our boy.
Christos, yeah.
Oh my God. This kid's
I
the
love
Viking
UFC fighting.
fucking.
Sorry, they're so fucking cool. It's just so cool. Okay. All right.
It's a fun time. You know, we get, Fight Dubs, I feel like very similar in like lightheartedness as Mix and Serve. And that's kind of why we like
more
vibe
fun
all
to shoot,
really
though.
well.
Because
Well, it's simpler.
I don't have to do so much.
It's low logistics.
I love the Mix and Serve. It's just the Mix and Serve is like I gotta
get it.
breastfeed it,
I
and
get-
change his
I
diaper.
get it.
You know what I'm saying? Put a little finger in there, whatever it takes to get it going.
That's what she
I don't do that to my child, guys.
No, hope not. Anyway.
Word. Well,
all
thank
I
you.
got.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. We want to have you back whenever you want. Open invitation.
Thank
Come
you.
on.
Love it.
Plug,
Yes.
promote. Please.
Thank you,
Love
man. Thank you.
Thank
Love you.
Yeah, Skitbags for life. Thank you, Carl.
Hell
Yes.
Carl, why don't you take us around, bro?
Oh, yeah. Check out the Ding Dong Show at the Comedy Store on Mondays at 10 o'clock in the Belly Room and whatnot. Also on the YouTubes. Out there all the time with Don Barris. R.I.P. Brody last time.
R.I.P. Brody. I don't think we brought that up because we took a week off.
Yeah, we did, huh? Well, one of the greatest men that have worked in comedy in Hollywood. He was a nice man. He's one of the people who wasn't an asshole. He's a cool dude. Worked from the bottom up. I don't know nobody that don't like this dude. He's a great guy and a wonderful light that was dimmed by the darkness of Hollywood just recently. And R.I.P. Brody.
Yeah.
Brody Stevens, baby. Stephen Brody. Brody Stevens. He was our friend.
He's our friend.
All right. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, the Ding Dong Show, baby. You better check that shit out. In the Belly Room and whatnot, which Brody loved also. So, one more time for Brody. Anyway, we also got the GT's Comedy Jam at gtcomedyjam.com, which I do with the Gangsta Taco, GT Pauline and whatnot. Also, check out the Scramble movie, which I forget to mention. That's on the iTunes. I play Black Jesus and whatnot. You got the Clapper and whatnot. You also got Daggone. You got all kind of shit. Office Uprising. You got the shit, the Jay and Silent Bob shit just coming out. There's some other shit. It's a whole bunch of shit. Fuck with us. Skitbags. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you. Oh, wait, I did forget one thing. Just Goes West on YouTube. Really
Yes.
good series.
Good
One of our cast members wrote a series, and it's my first acting role where I'm not producing it in a long time. So please watch.
Nice.
Me be an eccentric art professor.
Oh. We'll check it out.
Just Goes West.
You can follow me on IG TMcD with 2 underscores. And that's it.
There you go.
Thanks for listening.
And Sailor_Dev. But more importantly, go follow Skitbags. Go to the social media, Facebook. You can check out Get Out the movie, or Sketch with Will. And you can go to the website. If you're already a fan and listening to the show, go on down to the website. And under shows, you will see the Mix and Serve, the link to their website. So in case you can't listen, or in case you're just like, I don't know, an idiot, and you can't follow what Will just said, you can go to Skitbags and like a true knucklehead and get through it there. But also, big shout out to our fearless leader, Mickey Gooch, who's ground zero right now, we're filming Jay and Silent Bob reboot. So much love to Kevin and Jason. We'll keep you guys tuned in with updates from that, but you can go follow Jason's and Kevin's social media to get behind the scenes look at what's going on while they're filming. But on that note, I think we out.
Yeah.
Skitbags Radio! Woo!
Skitbags.
Skitbags Radio.